Hi again, this is Rick with AmazingAccuracy.com. It is currently October 27th, 2012. It is 2:22 p.m. Chicago time. Now, what I'm going to do in this video is a little different than what I normally do, and that is today is Saturday, and I'm in my office and I'm preparing the FDate report for the upcoming week and weeks. And while I'm doing this, I just posted on our private membership forum. It's for our members. The week's wrap up, and I highlighting one market. And what I wanted to do is, since I've already gone through the trouble of, well, it's not really trouble. I enjoy doing this, but since I've already gone through the effort of putting together my weekly wrap up, I thought, you know, why don't I go ahead and just share this one with everyone on the outside? That would be anyone that is currently not a member of our market timing membership. Because from the outside, I'm sure it's difficult to get an idea of what we really do here in the membership and how valuable it really is for those looking to make profits in trading by knowing in advance the high probability tops and bottoms that are likely to occur on particular dates, and to know those dates in advance. So I thought by giving you a little bit of insight on that, and at the same time you will gain the benefit of seeing what we could be looking at here in the very near future for this particular market that I'm going to be talking about, which is the Australian dollar currency. So let's just go ahead, and most of what I'm going to be saying here is I'm just going to read what I've already written on this membership forum that you see on the screen here for the Australian dollar, and then I'll interject some notes and comments and so forth so that you will understand what is going on here, because we do speak a little bit of a different language than what most people do, because it pertains to what we do, and that is FDate trading. Okay, to start off here, you can see the date and everything is listed up here. I just posted it 10 minutes ago, and that's me. And we'll start off. It says, the market I wish to highlight in this week's wrap-up is the Australian dollar. And what I wanted to do here, and I'll go ahead and start scrolling this up, is that we start, okay, with, we're going to go back here where this little red dot is here. Okay, I could go all the way back, weeks, months, whatever, but there's no point. The membership has already gone over this before. So we had see if I can get that all in there. Okay, we start off with the FDate of 10.5 plus, and basically what that's saying is that we're expecting a turn for October 5th, and if it's going to be off a day, the calculations indicate that it would be more likely one day late rather than one day early. And in this case, it ended up making a swing, a double top here on 5th, and then it made the bottom one day late right here. So we can see that that's noted right here, and of course it gets the proverbial smiley face. Okay, so we nailed this bottom here. Now, what was especially noteworthy about this bottom on the daily chart, this is a daily chart by the way, is that we were also expecting a weekly turn, and you can see that we were expecting a weekly turn for week ending 10.5. We got that. Actually, it was one bar past 10.5 on the weekly chart, which is acceptable, but it was only like a few ticks difference between the following bar and the bar listed here. So we knew at this time, as we were coming up to this F date, that we were expecting a weekly bottom as well as a daily bottom, and we got the two of them together here, and it made this nice bottom. Another thing I want to bring out here real quick before we leave this chart, because I got to scroll down to go through this whole thing, is note this. It says here, can you see that? Okay, move to watch October 22nd to October 30th. This is a note that I have on my chart. It's been on my chart. These dates have been on my chart for weeks. And to show you that, I'm going to bring the camera over here and show you a post that was made a few weeks ago. Okay, this particular post was made on the forum on October 4th at 8 o'clock p.m. Now, you can read all that if you like, but what I was highlighting here, okay, you can see I was pointing at support and all this other stuff, but I want to just bring your attention right here. I had this note on here going back to October 4th, and then that happened to have been on my chart. There you can see the notes still there on all subsequent charts. So I just wanted you to see that long in advance I was expecting a move to watch between 10:22 and 10:30, and we got that bottom right here. Okay, that happened on 10:23, and so far we're not done yet, but we've moved up here to 10:25, and we're expecting prices likely to go up to 10:29, which is Monday, this coming Monday, and perhaps even Tuesday of this overall move. So I just thought that you might find that interesting. That's all part of my calculations that I share with our members, and so we're always expecting things in advance so that we're not surprised and we're ready for them. We can act on them. Okay. Now, going on with that chart, the FDate that followed 10.5 plus was FDate 10.10, and as you can see on the daily chart, it produced a daily swing top, and then it was followed by the $sign FDate, which is a special FDate, which is just a higher probability FDate, ones that we really like to watch, on 10.15. So if we go back to this chart again, prices rose from this FDate, made a swing top at this FDate, pulled back to a $sign FDate that we had right here, and that $sign FDate proved to be really a big deal. We would not have traded this FDate because remember, we were expecting a weekly bottom. We got the daily and weekly bottom here, and so now we're looking to buy off of higher swing bottoms. So we would not have sold off of this, but we would have bought off of this. We would have bought right here, and then the next day following, it even gapped up, going all the way up here to October 18th. And you can see that following the FDate 15, we had it marked as 17, and you can see I even had that little noted there. And it went to the 18th, which was just one day more, so that was definitely an indication that it was bullish, because bulls tend to be one day late and for tops and one day late for bottoms for bear markets and so forth. So anyway, from here the 1017 produced a swing top, and then I mentioned Delta. If any of you are familiar with the book from Wiles Welder, that the Delta phenomena, I recommend the book. It's very difficult to trade based on those dates, in my opinion. However, there is merit in studying that book, because I have in the past learned a lot from realizing that you should realize that there are cycles in the market, and they are affected by external bodies, the earth turning every 24 hours and so forth, and the showing of the moon and going around the sun and all that. So for that reason, I like the Delta book. But the other thing too is I happen to compare the dates with my own calculations, because what's really neat is when they match. Okay, and I have a little program that I wrote that if a person already owns the Delta book and is a platinum member, then I have a little application that just helps them to get his Delta dates really quick, so you can just kind of do that and compare them to the F dates, and they're really useful. Matter of fact, I was making a note of that here was the last three delta dates in the Australian dollar. And I make adjustments to the file used every few months because uh, as more data comes in, it kind of goes off to a little to the a day early or a day late or whatever, and I make the adjustments so that future dates stay more in line with the cycles. Anyway, that's a whole lot of information. You probably don't know what you may not understand what I'm talking about, so I don't want to get too deep in that. Anyway, I do have the program available for purchase for platinum members. They can inquire about it, but they must prove they have the book, because I think it's only fair that the people who provided that type of information, the Delta Group, they get their rewards for producing it. Anyway, but this is not Delta that we're doing. I'm just reflecting that it's really interesting how you can get alignments from time to time, and this definitely here 928 to 10:9 to 10:19 was definitely a nice alignment, but don't expect that to happen all the time. As a matter of fact, if you go back here, I put an X here to kind of reflect those swings, and although it hit this one here, I didn't put an X here, but to hit this one here and then here and then here, here's the next one, and yet we're going up. So we might get a 1 day down or something, I don't know, or this whole thing might flip up on its head. But I put one here too, so that just kind of gives you a gauge of what those estimates are, those calculations are. But I don't personally like to rely on those because you're going to get yourself burnt. And I could tell you several ways you'll get yourself burnt if you just relied on those alone. But it's worth getting. I truly believe it's worth getting. So there's some free advertisement for those boys over there. They should give me a cut, but that's not likely going to happen. All right. Anyway, outside of that, then let's see, what do I go on here? Oh, I wanted to point out that our buy setups, our recent buy setups on that chart, I mentioned to the clients here that when we were looking for a buy here, we were at support. There was 62% support from here. Right now it's showing it's on this level, but this is already going from here to here, and that hadn't formed at the time. This is 62% here. And then the next one down here, the 1023, which, by the way, even though I had 1022 to 1030 here, the clients, our members, were informed ahead of time to adjust 1022 to 1023. And I make mention again of that right here. See, it was 1023 FDate, not 1022. See, it says you were alerted to adjust 1022 to 1023. Another good reason to be actively watching the forum, our forums, if you remember, is because if I get new data and I see that something looks like it might be a little off, I could alert you ahead of time so you be ready for it. Sure enough, following FDate 1017, we went to 1023. And 1023 nailed the bottom right there, 62%. So when you saw this and you saw this, that's kind of hard to escape. And then prices then have taken off since then. All right. Now let's get down to the nitty gritty here. Let's see. Okay, so now I'm talking about the current situation. We got this little swing top here, but we weren't expecting a swing top here. There's no prediction or forecast for it. And it makes me a little bit hesitant in assuming that prices are just going to start going down off of that because it just didn't show up on the cycle map. We got this dollar sign FDate here for 1029 as we've already discussed. Excuse me. Oh, here, see, I said because the DST of 1025, that's the daily swing top, was not predicted in advance, and because there are still 2 days left inside FDate 1029, which is the day 1029 and 1030 are all within a day of this date here, so you have to keep that in mind. Where a price bar can become a turn, I'm not convinced that FDate 1029 is going to settle as a daily swing bottom alone. We know, and I make it very clear with big capital letters, we know at the very least we're going to get a daily swing bottom. There's no doubt because, excuse me, I'm just recovering from a cold this week. With prices already making a lower low here one day early, okay, if we're going to get a swing turn for 1029 FDate, it's got to first make a bottom because it's already made a lower low. If prices go up, it's going to make a swing bottom. Okay, if it's going to also make a swing top, it still has to make a bottom first. That's how come we know that we're going to get a swing bottom within this time period. Now imagine that you know you're going to get a swing bottom within a certain small time window. What can you do with that kind of information? Well, if you've been trading for more than just a couple of months, I don't need to answer that. You already know. Okay, you already know prices are going to go higher so that you can make whatever trading plans that fits you. We have our own, but it's still good information even if you're not a member to know what I've just shared with you. So expect a swing bottom to occur. Now the swing bottom could occur right off this low of 1026, which was yesterday, as it is sitting on support. Okay, it doesn't have to sit there. It can keep going lower. It can go down to this support, for example. But we're going to get a swing bottom within this time period, and because it's a $ FDate, it's going to be an important swing. And I talk about that too because, again, excuse me, because, well, here, let me just read this, okay? It's a lot easier. It says, starting from here, all right, it says, with a lower low bar 1026 already inside $ FDate D, which is daily 1029, we know that at the very least we are likely going to get a daily swing bottom. This is regardless of whether a daily swing top also forms inside this FDate following. The only thing we do not know is whether it will be, you know, the swing bottom is going to be off the 1026 bar, or it's going to be a little later in this FDate, which means it could be off the 1029 bar, or at the very maximum the 1030 bar, because you can only be within 1 day of that date. You can't go 2 days out, 3 days out. Okay, that you can't work with that. Okay, but we can work with 1 day. Anyway, because we don't know this, that is why we confirm when we're unsure. In other words, you know, you make your purchase above the high of that bar that you suspect is going to be the swing bottom bar, and you'll be filled when it confirms. Now, on a side note, two dynamic Fibonacci levels cross on 1029 at the same level of a previous major top level that was made on August 9th. And that's up there around the 1.0485. Now, I'm not suggesting that price is going to rocket up to that price this coming Monday, on you know, from the close of 1026, which is at this price, because that's a 162-point move in 1 day. But it is possible because, and I quote some recent, July 25th, it moved 160 points in 1 day. In July 12th, 159 points in 1 day. June 29th was 237 points in 1 day, and June 21st was 176. So it is not unheard of for the Australian dollar to move over 150 points in a single day. So it could happen come Monday or Monday, Tuesday. So there's that possibility that you know, we could see a move like that this Monday or Tuesday, only because there's resistance, a conjunction of resistance going on that day, and we are expecting something to happen for this $ FDate for 1029. So I like to think that something special will come out of that. It usually does, not always, but usually does, and that's why we always, you know, pay close attention to those $ FDates. Okay. Oh, and by the way, what makes a FDate, a regular FDate, a $ FDate is the information that comes from a program called Hot Dates. I know that sounds funny, like hot date, but hot is a, you know, what do you call it? It represents 3 words. H is high, and O is octave, and T is trading turn. So it'd be high octave turn dates. And who comes up with these names? I do. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, So it's a special program that's part of my FDate's calculation suite of programs that I have, and when it gives me an asterisk next to a date, we put a dollar sign there, and you can ask other members. They absolutely love those dates. Okay, so just something to keep in mind when considering taking this buy setup. We have a buy setup, by the way. Okay, if this confirms as a swing bottom, it is within 1 day. So we have a situation where we can buy on Monday the Australian dollar if it ticks above 1.035. No, that's the resistance. The high on the 26, well, whatever the high of the 26 is, it should be below that value right there. But just look on your price chart and you'll see what it is. And if price ticks above yesterday's high, that's a buy. You know, use stop losses to protect your position in case it goes nuts on you and goes in the opposite direction or whatever. We normally just put our stops below the low of the bar we enter. So we do have to risk that amount there. You can risk less if you want, like 50% of it, but you know, you understand with stop losses, the closer you get with your stop loss, the more prone to being stopped out early, and you might miss your move. So anyway, let's see, to conclude this video, long video, anyway, think it out loud, don't forget the weekly chart. Last made a weekly swing bottom, so we are looking for the next weekly swing turn around November. Well, it's going to be the early part of November because it's the week ending November 9th. And next week is week ending November 2nd, which is one weekly bar early. So at the very least, we're expecting prices to continue higher in the Australian dollar because we are expecting a weekly swing top around this time period in early November. Okay, that would mean that we would break above current resistance containing the high of week October 19th. And on my old notes on the monthly charts, I had this note, October 2012 with a geometric top. It's been on my charts for a long time. Right now, September is the top, so I would not scratch off October, November just yet, as the potential still exists that we could see either October or November as the geometric top. November is just one bar late. In light of what we just discussed here, that we have strong potential where we can be moving up higher come early next week, Monday and Tuesday, because we're expecting a bottom. Remember that? Okay. I hope that makes sense to you, but as you become involved in reading these, and we have it in our discussions, you learn really quickly how to understand how this works. And it's very powerful, as you can see from this daily chart here. We just pick off these swing tops, these swing bottoms. We know when to expect weekly turns. Large moves go from weekly turns. We look at support, resistance, the whole bit. If you're really serious about your trading, you want to bump it up to the next level, highly recommend that you consider trying out one of our memberships. And thanks again for watching. And if you haven't done so already, I even have a free newsletter where I send one out every so many weeks. You can sign up at the membership, or excuse me, at the website, amazingaccuracy.com. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks again for watching.